Give me some of that long. Hard. Rock. What kind of show do you think this is? Geesh. Classic rock, hard rock, and heavy metal from the 70s, 80s, and 90s. Plus, stick around for Plug-In, where we support independent artists one song at a time. Take it like a man from a woman who knows music. It's time for RockGasms with Jenn Mitchell. Delta Deep's drummer Forrest Robinson was unable to join us for our interview that particular day, but a few weeks back I had a chance to catch up with him where we covered a wide variety of topics, beginning with his early musical influences to prejudice he faced as an African American playing rock and roll music, to how his strong spiritual beliefs kept him focused on his artistry, and much, much more. In fact, given the amount of projects he's been involved with, alongside an impressive list of seasoned musicians from the world of R&B, soul, heavy metal, blues, and even Irish Celtic, this October I will be hosting a riveting 4-part documentary on this Grammy Award-winning artist. Details on the air times are available by visiting my other radio show page at facebook.com/80sgasmrock. But for now, here's a little sneak peek on what Delta Deep's drummer Forrest Robinson had to say about how Kiss was the first band that inspired him to become a musician, along with thriving as an African American in the genre of rock and roll. Take a listen. You mentioned Kiss, though, and we've talked about the stigmas in the past regarding the general public consensus on African-American roles in the music industry. So for you, at that young age being drawn to Kiss in bands of the like, how did your peer group feel about you being such a huge fan of Kiss? And was there a concern that if you weren't exclusively embracing the traditional music from your own roots, that somehow you were denying your own ethnicity?
Growing up in Memphis, my roots are gospel, blues, rhythm and blues, which to me, different from the common term, this being now 2014, for the last 25, 26, 27, 28 years, R&B to me has been something different. My roots in the rhythm and blues / funk, soul tradition and genre, we're talking Rick James, Tina Marie, LTD, Shalamar, Earth, Wind and Fire, bands of that nature. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So, grew up on B.B. King, Bobby Blue Bland, Johnny Guitar Watson, people like that. Buddy Guy, the real stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you could feel the spirit of God coming through this music, and I'm telling you, woo! So, fast forwarding now, if you call this a fast forward, now I'm 10 years old. 10 years old, Jan. Right?
You're in double digits, so there you go.
Indeed. So, check this. So, I'm at school. I'm in the 5th grade. And I remember at this point, I was writing poetry, short stories, and plays. And I had just caught hip to Billy Squier.
Wow.
I just caught. Now, rap is starting to come in, and, I have no issues of the rap genre coming in, but there was something really strange that started happening around this time. So rhythm and blues was kind of like, what's going on here? It didn't die. It didn't phase out. People never got sick of it. Like, I think some folks would like to have folks believe it was, to me, if you ask me, it was disappeared, and now we had Run DMC and the Fat Boys. So all of a sudden, I wasn't getting the live, that live inspiration that I was getting from some of those shows I was telling you about. But now on MTV, I was in the Kiss since I was in my single digits. And man, Jen, I kid you not, I messed around. If you saw this video, anyone out there who's seen this video would know what I'm talking about. When you saw Iron Maiden's Flight of Icarus video, It was like a live studio recording video deal. Are you kidding me? I'm watching Nico McBrain shred it out on that song. You honestly think I'm going to walk away from that? It was over. So I have two choices. I have, Judas Priest screaming for vengeance out there. I have Iron Maiden out there. Here comes Motley Crue, shout at the devil. All this stuff. Or I can go over here to Run DMC and the Fat Boys. My whole life, I'm wanting to carry the torch for my elders. That's music. I wasn't so much about poo-pooing on any sort of art form. I just didn't get any inspiration from seeing or hearing rappers. I just didn't see where I fit in with that. There just wasn't anything that fed me spiritually or creatively. Now at school, to answer your question, how was it with my peers? I was going to largely 85, 90% African-American schools. Everybody else is into rap. I'm feeling creative. I'm getting inspiration from all over the place. It was a very hard time for me. Instant outcast, even got jumped.
Wow.
Like had people like would pick fights and stuff. I was never one of those guys. I was a nerd before I even started kindergarten. I'm a nerd now. I'm fine with it. It's cool. I know there's kind of a little trend going on about that, but those of us out there who've lived it and have lived the pains of it know what I'm talking about. And it's not a game. It was so hard, and I was being called names I really don't want to say here because they just were not nice, and I don't know what kids are listening to it. To where they actually used Def Leppard in the name and had this completely just not cool name using profanity that I would be called. And I told Phil and Rick about it, which is really interesting that I'm getting to actually now make music with these guys. It was hard.
Yes, well,
but never
use the name Def Leppard in vain, right there.
Yeah, I just don't want to say it on air. I'm not trying to like not tell people. I just don't want to hear it. I don't want that to come out of my mouth and for it to just be out there like that, you know.
Right.
And it just hurt, but I heard it a lot. And I was told that I was trying to be who I'm not, who I'm really not, and I'm hanging around people that I had no business hanging with. And I was being told from the other side of the race spectrum that, blah, 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 you're different. You're not one, and I was treated like other on that side. It was just crazy stuff. But the one thing I can say is the music I listened to, heavy metal was a huge part of what got me, I dare say, through a lot of it. Like I would look at videos by, like Twisted Sister, We're Not Gonna Take It and things like that. And I know it was entertainment to some people, but for somebody like me, those songs were symbolic.
It left a mark on you.
It did. Like this music to me, this was like my rebellion, but it wasn't like just so much, being a rebel. I really love this music. I felt like these bands understood me, Jan. I'm like, these guys understand me.
Right.
And I really got through it.